All right. So I want to do a story for you. And since I have my special guest, my teacher, with me, this story is about a young one who wanted to play djembe. He loved playing djembe. Played djembe all the time, but couldn't find the sound of the master's hand in his. Couldn't figure out why. So he kept on guessing until some things happened. Now, so whoa. I'm gonna have you do a little solo and then come back. So other than that, throw it together. Okay? Alright. A long time ago, there was a young one in the Malian Empire in the 13th century. And that young one loved to play djembe. They would play djembe all day long. But no matter how much they played, no matter how many hours in the Savannah sun they played, they could not find the sound of the master's hand in theirs. So they thought to themselves aloud, no matter how much I play and play and play, and I cannot find the sound of the master's hand in mine. What could it be? Well, since I know it can't be me, it must be this drum. What is wrong with this drum, such that I cannot find the sound of the master's hand in mine? Well, maybe it's too tall. Maybe this djembe is too tall, and I need a short djembe to find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So that young one set about to find a short djembe, and they found a djembe so short it was barely an ankle's height. And with that short djembe, they played and played and played and played and played and played. But alas, they did not find the sound of the master's hand in theirs. Well, that short djembe didn't do the trick, but I know it must be this djembe, but oh, I know. The short djembe didn't work, so maybe my djembe was too short to begin with, and I need a tall djembe. So that young one set about to find a tall djembe. And they found a djembe so tall that they had to also build a ladder to get up on this tall djembe. Well, they got their tall djembe, they got their ladder, and on top of that tall djembe, they played and played and played and played and played and played and played. But alas, they did not find the sound of the master's hand in theirs. Well, that tall djembe didn't work, and that short djembe didn't do the trick. Well, I think maybe this djembe is too wide. It's too wide. So I need a narrow djembe. Then I will find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So that young one set about to find a narrow djembe. And they found a narrow djembe. It was so narrow, they could barely play it with two hands. But on that narrow djembe, that young one played and played and played and played and played and played. But alas, they still did not find the sound of the master's hand in theirs. find a wide djembe. And they found a wide djembe. A djembe so wide that they could lay down on top of it and bask in the Savannah sun. But instead of doing that, on that wide djembe, that young one played and played and played and played and played. But alas, they did not find the sound of the master's hand in his. But just then, that young one had a very naughty thought. And his thought was this: I know, I will steal the master's djembe. Then I will find the sound of the master's hand in mine. So that young one set about. In the dark of night, it was so late, the night herself was asleep. And they went to their master's tea-boat. That's the name of the mud brick thatch roof huts you find in Guinea. And they snuck into the master's tea-boat as quiet as a mouse. And they lifted up the master's djembe, and they carried the master's djembe outside of the tea-boat. And they carried the master's djembe across the Barra, that's the village center. And they carried the master's djembe past the baobab trees and looked over the village. And they sat behind the large boulder, and they played and 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 played. But they still did not find the sound of the master's hand in theirs. But at that very moment, the master was awoken by the sound of his own djembe speaking in a language he did not understand.
How can this be?
Well, the master got up out of his sleep, and he left his tea-boat looking for the sound. And the master crossed the Barra looking for the sound. And the master went past the baobab tree looking for the sound. And just next to the boulder, he found the young one playing his djembe.
Why have you not asked me to play my djembe?
Well, master, I'm sorry. I just want to find the sound of your hand in mine.
Tall djembe, no, the short djembe, no short djembe, then the wide djembe, no, the wide djembe, then the short djembe, I'm sorry.
So the master went to his tea-boat, and he got a stinky old, dusty, misshapen, nasty, yucky djembe. And he gave it to that young one.
You must play this djembe and this djembe alone until you find the sound of my hand in yours.
Well, that young one took the djembe and left the village. And many moons passed, many harvests passed, many naming ceremonies passed, until one morning the master was awoken by the sound of his own hand. All right.
Well, the master said, well, how can this be?
Well, the master got up out of his tea-boat looking for the sound. He went across the Barra looking for the sound. He went past the baobab tree. He was looking for the sound. And behind the boulder, he saw nothing but Sister Moon
master approached. How is it that you have found the sound of my hand in yours?
Well, Master, I understand now that it was never the drum. It was always me. And what I learned, what the djembe taught me, was that patience and practice and focus and perseverance and all these things were the secrets to finding your hand in mine. So thank you, Master. Pleased, the Master went back to his T-bow and got his djembe. And they drummed together on that hill. But before they ended, the Master said to the young one,
You have now found the sound of my hand in yours. Now, it is time for you to find the sound of your hand in yours. And with that, they drummed together as the morning sun chased away the night. One more little step. The end. Okay, thank you.
Hopefully this is still going.
Yay, it's still
Boys
going.
and girls, I am sure, first of all, we're going to give them one more round of applause because they did a very
Thank you.